What's up, everybody? It's your girl T from Adventures of Spirits, and welcome to Spiritmas Day. Ooh, I can't remember what day it is. Is it 28 or 29? 28 or 29? Oh my God, y'all. I'm going to need y'all to help me. I think it's 28. I'm going to go ahead and say 28. If it ain't 28, just look at the description and the title. You'll see which day it is. But I remember this is 28. Spiritmas Day 28. These days be running in together. I don't know how y'all just remember stuff like this. But anyway, thank you all for joining me. Let me get my background music in on here because I like to give a little some background music. I was told that sometimes it's too quiet. It'd be good to have a little background, little jazz music. So there we go. Some little background Christmas music or whatever. So hopefully this works out for all of y'all. Hopefully y'all like the little background music. But anyway, thank y'all for joining me. And today we will be reviewing the newest of the Uncle Nearest selection. And this is the new Nearest Green Tennessee whiskey and is 84 proof. Price is very reasonable. You can get it from a distillery or you can get it from your local package stores. Not all package stores will have them because they just released it back in October. So it's still getting out to all the areas. And it just depends on whether they figure it's going to sell in their area. But so far, the places that I've been has had it. But I did pre-order mine. I just have a connection with certain package store owners, and a lot of times they usually ask the people who frequent their areas, is there anything that you're looking for or whatever. And so I got my Nearest Green bottles, and I'm actually very happy for it. The price of it was actually $29. And from what I understand, over at the distillery, it was pretty much the same, 29 or 30, somewhere between, I've heard anywhere between $28 to $32, depending on where you got it from, whether you got it from distillery or the local package store. But either way, just wanted to go and just taste it to see, well, what does it actually taste like, right? But I also didn't want to have you forget the whole entire line of Uncle Nearest. I'm not saying this is the exhausted list. There are anniversary editions, there are special editions, there are editions that you can only get or obtain at the distillery. And then there are some that you can actually get locally, and then there are some that are actually very rare, like the 1820. It's kind of hard to find, right? So with that stated, let's just go down the line for those who do not know of Uncle Nearest, and as well as the type of whiskey that they bring. So just to give you a little history of Uncle Nearest, just want to let you know that Fawn Weaver is actually the founder of the Nearest Green Distillery, which actually was launched in 2017. They are located in Shelbyville, Tennessee. And just a little history about Uncle Nearest. His name is actually, Nearest Green is his name, but they call him Uncle Nearest. And he was actually a slave who was actually the very first slave who was a master distiller and who taught Jack Daniels how to distill whiskey. Okay, and the method that Nearest Green used was called the Lincoln method, which is the use of filtering through charcoal. Okay, and so therefore, that particular method is being actually used amongst a lot of Tennessee whiskey distilleries. But I can tell you that you will not be disappointed at whichever bottle you obtain from the Nearest Green Distillery. Okay, so let's just go down notes here, and I don't remember every single one. I'm just going to give you just a little just about the actual bottle itself. So this one here, you have the 1856. It's 100 proof, and you can actually obtain that at your local package store, and it usually ranges an average of $60. Okay, then you have your 1884 here. That one is 93 proof, And that one ranges between $40 to $60, and you can obtain that at your local package store. Then you have your straight rye. This is your Uncle Nearest straight rye whiskey. There are 2 other rye whiskeys, but the other 2 rye whiskeys are higher proof, so you can only obtain those at the distillery. That was the last that I known about it. This was about a year ago. Now there's been some changes, just like when I get to this side, there will be one that I will say, well, at one point at the time that I obtained it, you can only get it at the distillery, but now I've actually seen it, in the lock cases and so forth at the package store. But this particular one, this blue, not the blue label, but the beige label, this beige label is a straight rye. And this one is 100 proof, and it ranges between $46 to $60. The other 2 ryes are a higher proof. They're over 100 proof. And they, of course, are up in price range there. One is a royal blue label, and one is a green label. Then over here, you have your single barrel, which is here, I believe. Yep, single barrel is this one here. And that single barrel is 122.5 proof. And that one is $90 to $100 on average, depending on where you get it from. And you can obtain that within the package stores these days. Before, when I bought it, which was, I would say, a year ago, you can only obtain it at the actual distillery. But I've actually seen it inside the cases is it this one? Yeah, inside the cases at the package store. So depends on where you are. You may be able to obtain it locally. If not, you can get it from the nearest distillery. Then you have your mastered blend. And this one was a special one that you could only get at the distillery. I have not seen it at the local package store. That one is 122 proof. It's actually cask strength, and it can range anywhere from 89 to 150. I've seen it at a lot of different prices on Google, where different people are selling it. I guess it's people who bought it and want to resell it. But I do know at the distillery, I paid $149 for that bottle. Okay. Now let's get into the new one, which is what we came to review. But I just wanted to give you all just a sort of background on the whole line of the Uncle Nearest bottles, even though some are not here. But I figured it'll give you a real roundabout way, just in case you wanted to try them all, or go taste them to see which ones you may want to keep on your bar. But Nearest Green is actually 84 proof. It actually was released October 16th, 2024 of this year. And I was just so excited to be able to taste some of it and actually see what the difference is between some of the other Uncle Nearest whiskeys, to see if there's, any major difference, or is it just a slight difference? Because, there's always something unique in every single bottle, whether it's the flavor, whether it's the heat, whether it's the, the texture, whether it's a mixture or a blend of, maybe you get something you tasted in 2 other bottles in that one bottle. But either way, let's get into this Nearest Green. So it is a golden amber color. Oh, that's interesting. On the nose, of course, you get your whiskey notes. I do smell the caramel. No, I take that back. This is more like maple sugar, or brown sugar, should I say. You do smell some of the oak, but this it has a little herbaceous smell to this as well. And I'm trying to figure out which herb this is, but I do smell a citrus in there. So you will get and I'm trying to see what citrus this is. For me, it's leaning more towards grapefruit. Don't know why, but if you smell it, you're going to smell something different. Just like if you taste it, you may smell something different, taste something different. I do smell nuts. I do smell a little almond, for me anyway. And I do smell a little of I don't know, like a white pepper, not a black pepper, but a white pepper. This actually smells good. I'm so eager to taste this, y'all. Y'all just don't know. I can't make out some of the other notes, but it's just very complex, but it just blends just so very well. So let me go ahead and taste it to see if it's worth all the hype. That was just the first sip. I'm letting it marinate in my mouth to get the first hit. I don't like to give you an answer on the first taste, so I'm about to taste it now. So the very first, what does it feel like? It's it has a soft texture. It's not velvety. It does have a soft texture. It is warm, okay? For it to be a 84 proof, it is warm. Like, to me, this feels more like it should be like a 90. You know, like a 90, like getting closer up to the 100 to me. I feel it more on the sides of my palate, on the sides. A little less on the top of my palate. The top of my palate was not warm. It's almost, I taste all the flavor on top of my tongue. On the sides is where the warmth was, but very smooth going down. Very smooth, and you know, just bringing it back to the back of the throat and down to the chest. Is it warm? Yes. It's warm, but it's not hot. You know what I mean? It's not like, wow, it's not overpowering or overwhelming, but it is very good. But I can tell you, it really sits on the sides of my tongue. Very, very, very flavorful. Oh, yeah. And it's consistent. It's nothing different this third time. Well, not counting the first time. So let me just say this is the second taste. Very consistent, very flavorful. Everything I told you was on the nose, I tasted. However, I'm gonna let the finish continue to finish. I'm gonna see, is it a short finish? Is it a long finish? You know, do I lose the flavor after a while? Right now, the flavor is still strong, still strong. The warmth is still strong, like consistent with the first time I put it. You know, I put it in my mouth. But one thing I can say that as the finish is going away, I taste more of the nut, more of the almond. I taste almond. I taste macadamia. I know it's strange, right? But this is the aftertaste. So I still have the flavor, but it's giving me a different flavor. And the flavor is still in my mouth. And it's been now, what, maybe 30 seconds? So I would consider this maybe a medium to long finish. Usually a long finish to me is anywhere past a minute, a full minute. But I can taste that the flavor is going away, but it's almost like it just gives me a new flavor, if that makes sense. It's not like it's going away, it's just transitioning to something different. And it's funny because now the sides of my tongue that was normally warm, I'm having flavor there as well, which is very strange because usually your palate is on the top of your tongue. But on the sides, I'm actually, it's incorporating, and I'm about to say this, and it may sound strange, but it's almost like a bread, like a yeast, if that makes sense, is what I'm getting on the sides of my tongue. Don't ask me how. I'm just telling you what I'm tasting and experiencing right now. But Right now the taste is dissipating, is going away, where the flavors are now very, very mild and they're going away. But upon entry, very velvet. Well, not velvet, but very soft, very warm, warmer than 84% of what you would think 84 proof, not percent, but proof will give you. Very strong on the sides of your palate, very flavorful on the top. I tasted those various notes. The finish is about anywhere from a medium to a long, like 30 seconds to a minute. And it does transition after that 30-second mark. It starts to transition on its way out before it starts to dissipate. So do I think that this is actually worth keeping on the bar for that price point in this flavor that I just told you? Hell yeah. Okay, so there's no reason for you not to have multiple bottles. Now I got two. I got this one and I got one that I haven't opened yet over there. And so, yes, this is something to keep on the bar. Definitely a price point that you want to continue to do that. But that doesn't discount all the other ones. All the other ones have their own flavor and taste to it. And one of my favorites actually are the master blend one, the single barrel, and this 1884. Now I'm going to taste this 1884 just because I want to compare it and just see, if I taste any similarities to the nearest green here. So let's go ahead and see if I feel that there's a difference to it. Very different. Still good. Like I told you, this is the bottle that's almost empty. This 1884, what's that proof? 93 proof. That 93 proof has less heat to it than the 84 proof. Extremely smooth. Only thing is it do hit you up in your gums, but there's no warmth going down. I remember why I really like that one. However, this one right here, what I pay for this one, I think I actually bought all of my bottles from the nearest distillery. But the prices was pretty much similar to what was being sold at the package store. But they're like between 40 and 60 bucks. Do I think it's between 40 and 60? Yep. Sure enough, to be honest with you, I think this is between 40. It should be between 40 and 60 bucks. Easy. Okay? And people would buy it. Even if it was for 50, people would buy it. Okay? I think that could easily bump up to at least twice the price, twice the cost of what they're selling it for. 28, make it 46. People gonna still buy it. It's still less than the other ones. And the flavor on this one is remarkable. This one is the smoothest to me of all. My other favorite one was the master blend. And I'm about to taste that to see if there's a difference there. Because if I remember, I believe that master blend I spent the most money on. So I'm going to taste that one as well. Oh, yeah. All right. And just so you know, all the noses are different. Now, there's similarities because whiskey is whiskey. And if you're making whiskey the way you're supposed to make whiskey, there's going to be some similarities in your bouquet that you do take in. Same thing with some of your flavor notes, but there's always variations based on the distiller on what they do with it to give it its own uniqueness. So the master blend. Now I went from the 20-something dollar. This is between the 50, the 40 to $60. Now this one is 90 and up. So let's see, let's taste the difference. Okay. All the other ones are in between. This one has a very high flavorful nose, and it's much darker in its color. So let me tell you about that master blend. It definitely is blended. It has a very unique flavor to it that it does not match any of the other ones. So just so you know, I would not put that master blend to actually compare the others going forward. There is no similarities with the others. That one there, the flavor palette is very strong, extremely complex. You would have to sip on this and probably read every flavor or every note that you can smell in order for you to say, oh yes, that's what I smell. Oh yes, that's what I smell. It's just extremely complex. It will take some time to do. Do I think it's worth what I paid for it? Yes. Would I pay for it again? Yes. I'm just being honest here, but that's me, right? However, do I need to is the question. No, I don't. I can just go with this, or I can go with this. But just remember, this one right here is extremely different from any of the other ones that's there. It's a blend, so you're not going to get the same thing. Your bottle may not taste like my bottle unless it came from the same barrel. You see what I mean? So unless it came from the exact same barrel, your version of that bottle is not going to taste like my version of that bottle. So it's always going to vary. The other ones may be a little more consistent depending on the climate changes and where the rick barrels in the rick house was when it was aging. That is going to determine the flavor notes and the palate within each of the bottles. But outside of that, Nearest Green whiskey, definitely something to keep on your bar. Definitely something, it's within the price range that it can go for anybody. Your budget person, your middle income person, or your high class person that just want the flavor and they could care less about the, the high acidity. Oh yeah, I paid this much, whatever. That's just stupid. Pay for the quality of the stuff that you have. All of these are quality. Every single last one of them. Oh, and by the way, if you haven't, get their book, Love of Whiskey. Get this book. It tells you the whole entire story about the Nearest Green and their affiliation with Jack Daniels and the story behind it. And so, therefore, if you have not picked this up, I actually pre-ordered mine's a while back. Let me see. Did I give it? Yes, I got her autograph on my book. And I have started reading it. I haven't started. I didn't get all in depth of it. I just got so much going on. But I do want to make sure that y'all can see the camera. But I do want to let you all know, please get the book if you're interested. It's a very, very, very interesting story. It also goes to show just how much a lot of the times the slaves contributed to a lot, but because they didn't have any power, because they didn't have rights, because they didn't have money, they did not get the credit that was due to them. And Fawn Weaver made sure that Nearest Green, she got with the Jack Daniels, and with Jack Daniels group, and was like, hey, Nearest Green needs its place in history. And we have the Nearest Green Distillery. All right. And also look out for that. Fawn Weaver's branching out into the cognac world, y'all. Going to Cognac, France. She's bringing some cognac in here. I'm going to keep an eye out for that. Fawn, do your thing, boo. But anyway, Nearest Green, definitely something to keep on your bar. Thank you all for coming. Hopefully you enjoyed this. I think this is the last spirit review for Spiritmas. The rest of the days leading up to New Year's are cocktails. Hopefully you enjoy that. And I will see you all in the new year. And you all have a very, 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 very merry holiday, I'm going to say, because it's after Christmas, but a very much happy new year. Thank you all so much. And I'll see you on Spiritmas Day 29. See you. Let's have a toast for the real ones. Let's have a toast for the real
not average. The cotton's Egyptian. 500 for the shoes, come dirty, but the European. Less is more and less is the bank. Up the score, I pull up from trade. From the tray, I'm ballin' like Trey. Do what I can, I do what you